Dear guests, please rise for the procession of the graduates, administration, and faculty of Northwestern Health Sciences University. Please rise as you are able, or remain standing for the national anthem, sung by Allison Lindman and Keisha Lorenz.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you very much for that. What a great start to our event this afternoon. So good afternoon. My name is Deb Bushway, and I serve as the Provost and the Interim Vice President of Student Affairs here at Northwestern Health Sciences University. On behalf of the graduating class and all of us associated with Northwestern, I extend the warmest welcome to each of you to our Summer 2017 commencement ceremony. We know it's a beautiful day out there. We know there are many things on your schedule you could be doing. And please know it means so much to us and to your graduates that you've chosen to spend the time celebrating their incredible achievements here today. They've each worked hard, and they've well deserved this recognition. So especially with the competition of a beautiful day out there, thank you so much for joining us. So now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Christopher Kassir, President and CEO of Northwestern Health Sciences University.
Thank you, Dr. Bushway. Good afternoon. Crickets, hello, good afternoon. Let's do that again. Good afternoon. Welcome to Northwestern Health Sciences University. We are so proud of our graduates and so pleased that you could join us today. Before I say a few words about the wonderful graduates and the work ahead as we see it here, I want to introduce the members of the platform party so that you have an idea of who some of the folks are who are on the stage with us today. First is our President of the Faculty Senate and our Faculty Marshal, Dr. Don Egebrecht, starting right here. Veronica Foster, who's an assistant professor and who will be leading the massage therapy oath a little bit later. Christian Jovanovic, who is the director of the Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine programs. He will be leading the Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine oath. Next to Christian, you've met Dr. Bushway. After that is Walter Graff, who is a member of our board of directors and the secretary of the board of Northwestern, so we welcome Walter. Dr. Tim Stark, a member of our faculty and also our keynote speaker today, and we're very excited to hear from Tim. Dr. Dale Healy, the Dean of the College of Health and Wellness. Dr. Trevor Fo Shang, the Dean of the College of Chiropractic. And Dr. Michelle Renee, who is the Director of the Massage Therapy Programs and will be reading the names. In addition, I'd like to welcome and recognize Mary Gale, who's with us, who is our Vice President of Human Resources. So let's just give them a round of applause and welcome our university leaders. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our new leader, who's actually starting Monday. Mike Tennyson is our new Vice President of Clinical Care and Networks. So welcome, Mike. I'd like to also welcome and recognize our incredible service members and family members of our service members, with those who have served in the military, are active in the military, or have members of their family in the military. Please stand so we can recognize you, and thank you for your service. I will note and ask you to do the same that the students who cross the stage today with the red, white, and blue cords around their neck is in recognition of their service to our country. So we thank you again for your service. This is an incredible time for our graduates to be entering the healthcare system in this country as we continue to struggle with significant issues like opiate narcotic addiction and pain management and helping people to get healthy and well and stay out of surgery and optimize and live the best quality of life they can while we're here and enjoy the gift of our lives together. It is critical that we continue to focus on and enhance and motivate the professionals that are walking across the stage. Many of you have gotten to know what acupuncture and Chinese medicine is about through the lens of your graduates, or perhaps through care you've received yourself. Many of you have had massages or been to great massage therapists and others who maybe were not so great to understand the power and the impact of the care these professionals provide on helping people reduce stress, feel better, get well, and even treat conditions that might not have been successfully dealt with through the conventional medical system. More and more, our graduates are in demand from Northwestern because of the incredible rigor and quality of education they get here, and because of the clinical skills and the skills they develop as professionals as they walk across the stage and celebrate the accomplishments in the classroom and in treating people, and now as they move into the workforce and begin to be a partner with other clinicians in helping people get healthy and well. So this is a very important time in our history and a great opportunity from a career standpoint for those who are entering these professions to be getting their degrees. So I really want to applaud you for the decision to choose these professional areas and honor you and say thank you. And we look forward to your leadership. It's not just about becoming a great health professional when you walk across the stage and begin to treat people and help them feel better and well. It's really a time when we need leadership. And our graduates need to recognize and understand, and we expect that they become leaders in their professions that they represent. I don't want to spend too much time on the events of today, but I do want to mention and recognize that it is really a tense time in our country. It is a time of stress, of conflict, of strife, some polarization, a great deal of confusion, and a lot of energy. And it concerns me greatly, and I don't normally speak from the podium, and certainly not at a graduation, but I think today's events were particularly salient for a number of reasons. Thomas Jefferson is the founder, right, a founding father of our country and the founder of the University of Virginia. And his intention in creating the University of Virginia was to ensure that education would be available to all students and that it is grounded in a belief in civil discourse, civil engagement, and informed discourse. It is about being willing to speak out, to talk, to express our ideas, and to share what we do and help educate each other about the best we have to offer. Whether that's in the university context there or the university context here, this is a place where we welcome ideas, we share those ideas, we debate, we analyze, we discuss, and we use the power of our words and our intellect to reach a place of reason, where we welcome and honor diversity and share in our humanity together. I spoke with a number of my president colleagues this morning because of the events, and we agreed together that we would make some comments when we had the right opportunity, and mine is today. The other thing I will say is, in the immortal words of Martin Luther King, Jr., most of us came to this country on different ships, but we're all in this boat together. And we together have a responsibility to understand, to reach out, and to recognize that together we create a healthier world, we create a civil society, and that we have a responsibility to respect diversity and welcome all those who come here. So without going further on that, I want to say I ask all of you to recognize that there are moments in our history when we should be silent, and there are other moments in our history when we should speak out. And while I would never be so arrogant as to put myself in the category of Thomas Jefferson or Martin Luther King, I think their fundamental message is we have a responsibility to speak out and to take action when we see wrong, and to do that in a civil and engaged and thoughtful way. So I ask you to consider that and think about it as our graduates cross the stage and bring a holistic perspective to helping people get healthy and well. A fundamental education that recognizes that when you touch one part of a system, it affects everything else. And their power, their potential, their responsibility when they take on the role of caring for people is enormous. And we are excited about the great education they've had. So a wonderful round of applause for our graduates, if you would join me. And thank you for letting me say a few words about what's happening around us as well. Today is a day of celebration. It is a day of joy. It is a day of creativity. It is a day when we recognize our holistic community and the fact that our graduates didn't get here alone. So graduates, would you do me a favor and just stand up? Would you turn and face the audience? I want to recognize that nobody gets across this stage alone, and that all of us have brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, friends, family members who are all part of our journey. We want to give all of you a standing applause for your support and dedication to helping our graduates get across the stage. So thank you, audience, for all that you've done to help our graduates get here today. You can be seated, guys. Thank you. I'm not hearing a lot of excitement from the crowd of black robes. Can you just do a little rehearsal for me? How excited are you? Yeah, what is that? That was a B minus. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So The other thing to recognize, it really is a celebration. And these can be sometimes somber and very formal, and we're not quite sure what to do and how to act. In my world, it's okay to be happy and to experience joy and to celebrate. So if you need to dance a little bit as you come across the stage, or woot and shout and say hooray, that's all okay with me, and I'm sure it's okay with everybody else here. On that note, our graduates didn't get here alone. And again, thank you to the family members and others who've helped support them. I want to recognize now our incredible faculty, because at the end of the day, the experience we create here at Northwestern happens primarily through the relationships that are formed with our faculty. So would our faculty please rise so we can recognize and honor you for the work that you do every day. Watching you succeed, watching you cross the stage, is that quintessential moment where we share in your joy, because it is the outcome of the work we do and the reasons why we're in education. So on that note, I welcome you to Northwestern, to this incredible day of celebration and happiness. And it is my pleasure to now introduce Dr. Dale Healy, the Dean of the College of Health and Wellness. Dale.
Good afternoon. The graduating massage therapy class has selected two of their classmates, Madeline Gretty and Kevin Redman, to present messages on behalf of their class. Maddie has always been interested in how the human body moves and communicates. As a matter of fact, when she was at the tender age of 3, she convinced her mother to sign her up for her first ballet class. Through the years, this interest grew, leading her to pursue a Bachelor of Fine Art in Dance from the University of Minnesota, while spending summers enhancing her training at the San Francisco Conservatory of Dance. Today, Maddie adds massage therapy to her repertoire of skills with her AAS degree and with a special interest in clinical and therapeutic approaches. She hopes to work with dancers, yogis, and other athletes to help them prevent injury and return to their passions post-injury, and provide maintenance and relief for their daily aches and pains. During her time at Northwestern, Maddie participated with the Student Ambassadors Club, spent a trimester as part of the Student Senate, and was a peer tutor for various science courses. Moving forward, Maddie hopes to become involved with the Minnesota Dance Medicine Foundation as she settles into her massage therapy career. In the future, you will find Maddie pursuing training in additional modalities in the world of massage, including craniosacral therapy, neuromuscular therapy, and movement re-education, while she enjoys dance and movement recreationally. Kevin chose to dive deeper into the healthcare field after spending the past several years working the sidelines of youth sporting events as an EMT, always wondering if there was something else he could do to help youth athletes who sprained an ankle or pulled a hamstring. Today, Kevin adds an AAS degree in massage therapy to his resume after more than 3 decades of business and computer networking experience. Kevin holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Interdisciplinary Studies from the University of Wisconsin at Green Bay, where he dove deep into the areas of operating systems, computer communications, and satellite imagery. In 2016, Kevin earned his Master of Science degree in Technology and Innovation from Aspen University in Denver, Colorado, with a focus on program management and cybersecurity. Kevin's interest in a science-based approach to soft tissue health and recovery as it relates to human performance led him to enroll in Northwestern's massage therapy degree program in May of 2016. While at Northwestern, Kevin was involved in the Student Ambassadors Program and participated in clinical rotations at the DeRusha Clinic and Human Performance Center, Regents Hospital, Minnesota Oncology, Pillsbury House, as well as Grandma's Marathon in Duluth. After receiving his AAS in massage therapy today, Kevin plans to open his own clinic in Edina and then pursue his doctorate degree in clinical psychology, human performance, or health science. It is my privilege to present Maddie and Kevin.
Good afternoon.
Hold on.
Is it on?
There's about power button over here.
Yes. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here to celebrate the latest accomplishment in each of our lives. It is with great excitement that Kevin and I get to speak to you today. We prepared a few stories to give you some insight to what it's been like to attend Northwestern through our eyes. For those of you who don't know us, we've been playfully labeled by the classmates as the cheerleaders of the massage program. Woohoo! The massage program at Northwestern draws a distinctive crowd of individuals which you would not find in the same room anywhere else. We range from artists to technology nerds to those seeking a career change. We are cat lovers, military personnel, aspiring business owners, and we are all curious about the human body, bilaterally, of course. Each massage graduate has had a unique and personalized experience. While the program is well structured, the variation comes with each class we enroll in and the clinical rotations we choose. Day classes differ from night classes, rotations in the Duresha Clinic differ from those at Pillsbury House, from those at Human Performance Center. Even our homework assignments differ because we get to experiment on our family and close friends before we risk it on the public. For some of us, this was certainly a good thing. Since each of our experiences are so unique, any time we shared together was spent complaining about awful homework assignments due the next week, discussing skills gained from technique classes where we practice with and on each other, and studying for anatomy and physiology. You can ask us about our bony landmarks later. Each individual from all disciplines graduating today has conquered grades, deadlines, finances, and how to spend their free time. We've all learned so much through the duration of our programs. Congratulations to all the graduates. Since we don't get to hear everyone's story today, Kevin and I have selected a couple moments to share that stand out during our time in the program. I'll let Kevin entertain you first.
So my first fun day at NWHSU actually started on the very first day of class. It was a Tuesday in May, I recall that vividly. It was in relaxation massage number 1. We introduced ourselves and chatted for a while about the syllabus. I was curious about a lot of things, including the equipment that we had before us. You see, I had never had a professional massage before I enrolled in this program. As a student, we had to buy sheets, and we had to bring a blanket if we wanted one. The school supplied us with a massage table, which was also our desk, by the way. And we had this long foam stuffed tube, which Keith told me was not a pugil stick for hand-to-hand combat. Soon our instructor said something like, okay, one person from each group, let's get on the table, we're going to practice draping. Well, in the words of Oprah Winfrey, she said, sometimes you find out what you are supposed to do by doing what you are not supposed to do. So I think this was one of those opportunities. Frankly, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do because I'd never draped a body before, especially for a massage. I've never had that done to me either, so I was sort of in the dark. The only time I'd ever been close to receiving a massage was a couple decades ago. I laid on a mat on a floor at Disney World, and some 110-pound female walked all over me. And no, I wasn't married to her. But this time there was knowledge gaps, things which I thought had happened during a massage but never really experienced. As they say, I really didn't know what I didn't know. How are we going to get from the phone booth style changing table or changing booths on the side of the room to the table with some 15 people standing around? Then the instructor finished with her sentence, and she said, and we're going to do this fully clothed. I was relieved. Problem solved. No wardrobe malfunctions today. That first day of class, we learned how to chop, poke, tug, tuck, fold, and of course, not fluff. By the end of the class period, we were able to wrap each other up in a burrito faster than a teenager at Taco Bell. Fast forward a couple days later, and it was time to do it for real. I mean, unclothed. At this point, we had been taught the tricks of the trade. We learned how to get undressed in the changing booths and make our way to the tables. It turns out that I was familiar with this. This was a popular activity for my undergraduate studies in the 1980s called togas. Looking back at this, the relaxation class and other technique classes, these were the best part of my studies. Once a week, I got a free massage, whether I needed it or not. Our list of measurable successes, this was step one, learn how to do a proper massage. Well, challenge accepted. Step two was learning how to talk to clients, which Maddie will tell you was also a challenge.
This next story is an embarrassing story for me. It was, however, funny for everyone else who witnessed. Let me set the stage for you. All massage students are required to take a class called Pre-Clinic Workshop, which is a class that's intention is to make us acclimated with the student clinic. We're all supposed to have a rotation in this clinic. One of the main skills we begin practicing during the first day is how to conduct intake interviews. What are your goals for the session? How long have you had your back pain? You get the idea. How do we practice these skills, you ask? Role playing. One might think role playing would be a piece of cake for me since I have a performing arts background. The truth is, I hate role playing. My knees get shaky, my head gets foggy, I'm sweating everywhere, and worst of all, I pant. I literally pant, like we're talking heavy mouth breathing between every single word. For each of these sessions, I was more nervous than someone who is afraid of heights going on their first roller coaster ride. On the particular day that my anxiety over role-playing was through the roof, it was my turn to direct a health history intake interview. I was in a group of 3, Kevin and Annalise, who's not here today, was watching me conduct this interview along with Martin and Nancy, our instructors. Let me tell you, this is one of those circumstances where it was really, really good that we practiced on each other, because I think if it was with a general population client, I would have never made it to the actual massage. As I asked the 10 to 15 questions to my role-playing clients to gather the health history information, I began talking faster and faster, and I was desperately gasping for air between every single word. All the while, my classmates' smiles slowly faded to that look you hear when you hear nails on a chalkboard. And all the while, I could see out of the corner of my eye that Martin and Nancy were slowly exiting the scene, trying not to laugh. This is only 2 of probably hundreds of stories to be told about the trials and tribulations we've experienced throughout our time at Northwestern. I believe we are graduates that Northwestern can be proud of.
So in closing, Maddie and I would want to personally recognize and congratulate each of our massage therapy classmates and the successful completion of their program or certificate. Julie, Keith, Aaron, Natalia, Hayden, T, Stacy, Lauren, Michael, congratulations. During our journey at Northwestern, Maddie and I are sure you will agree, the most truly amazing part for all of us has been learning from the passionate and committed Northwestern instructors. They all have great depth of knowledge in their field, and they love to share. While they make classes challenging, they also relate the material to real-world possibilities, creating a phenomenal learning experience. Fellow graduates, as you leave this building with your new certificate or degree, you are in a unique position to do whatever you wish. Certainly, you could sit at home and worry about your future, but Irma Bombeck, a well-respected advice columnist, from my era, of course, once said, worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it really never gets you anywhere. So graduates, now is the time to thank your support team, your parents, friends, your spouse, children, extended family, and anyone else who has helped you get here today or gave you encouragement to do this. On Monday morning, get up, walk out your front door, and find a place you would like to perfect your talents. Create a new business, become an employee or a partner with an existing business. Volunteer. Whatever you decide to do, bring the energy, passion, knowledge, and tenacity you discovered here and apply it to your future endeavors. With that, Maddie and I leave you with this wisdom, which we stole from Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then customized it just for you. When thinking of climbing the ladder of success, Arnold reminds us that you cannot climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets. But Maddie and I would like to remind you that you can't give a massage with your hands in your pockets either. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maddie and Kevin. The graduating Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine class has selected their classmate, Carrie Jurek, to present a message on behalf of their class. Prior to attending Northwestern, Carrie worked as an alcohol and substance abuse prevention specialist and federal grant coordinator in Washburn and Burnett counties of Wisconsin. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse in therapeutic recreation, specializing in physical rehabilitation. While enrolled in the Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine program, Carrie accepted opportunities to return as a clinical intern to 2 rotation sites where she was able to focus on specializing her future practice. The first, at Regents Hospital, focused on post-surgical healing, mental health, oncology, and general medicine. The second concentrated on athletic performance and sports injuries for professional teams, the Minnesota Vixen and Minnesota Freeze, through the Human Performance Center. She also volunteered her time to observe and assist in treating sideline sports injuries for the Minnesota Vixen. Most notably, Carrie independently traveled to Los Angeles, California, where she studied and became certified in Mei Zen face and neck cosmetic acupuncture. Following graduation, Carrie will return to her hometown in Northwest Wisconsin to become an entrepreneur and general practitioner in acupuncture and Chinese medicine. Through her practice, she will also provide integrative health care for local high school and collegiate athletes, as well as cosmetic acupuncture services at Fringe Aveda Salon and Spa in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. It is my privilege to present Carrie Jurek.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to really try hard not to cry. As my friends and family know, talking is not my strong suit, and it's not just public speaking, but simply getting words out of my mouth, which seems to be more difficult than it was for me to get this degree. Especially in moments of nervousness, the likelihood of me speaking gibberish is high, as you just heard. So from this point on, know that I have really earth-shattering words written on this piece of paper, no matter what comes out of my mouth next. So on behalf of my class and everyone graduating today, I want to thank you for being here to celebrate this massive accomplishment and milestone with us. We're overwhelmed with feelings of relief, fear, anxiety, and joy, but this day feels absolutely surreal. We can't believe we're here. Most of you are here today to see only one person walk across this stage, but I'd like you to take a look at everyone sitting over there to graduate today, because together we are a collective group of people who are going to be graduating as medical professionals. We're going to be dedicating the rest of our lives to serving our communities and helping other people with the intent of bettering lives, and that's a really cool thing to witness today. We have spent years devoted to our education, and we made many sacrifices in order to pursue our futures. Many of us left our full-time jobs to return to school. We put our families on hold. We moved to another state, and like me, we commuted ridiculous distances in order to get here. But that doesn't even touch the amount of time and energy that we spent going to class and studying and going to clinic. Each and every person graduating today made one or all of these sacrifices. So while you're here today to celebrate just one person, please take a moment to recognize everybody graduating today, because this was no easy road. Sorry, guys. I actually am really happy. But as I said, this was no easy road, and a lot of you guys know that today, because you, our family, friends, and significant others, were there supporting us this entire way. When we chose to pursue this profession, you didn't tell us we were silly, nor did you question our future successes. In fact, you immediately became our biggest advocates. You believed in us from the start, and you never stopped. You gave us love and warm embraces when we doubted ourselves, and gave us the most wicked high fives when we did actually reach our goals, because you guys never disbelieved in us for a second. While we spent endless hours at school, clinic, and opting out of sleep to study a few hours longer, you were there taking care of the real world for us without complaint. So one last time, thank you guys for being here and for your huge role in helping us to get to this point. If it wasn't for your actions and your sacrifices as well, we would have never reached our goals. So, to our professors, you guys, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your experiences, and your family's secrets, and your passions with us. Though your job is to teach us, you did so in a way that excited us more and more each day to become the newest generation of TCM practitioners. We, the cohort walking across this stage today, and those yet to graduate, we know that we did not make your job easy. We were obnoxious and unrelenting to a fault. We complained when we didn't get A's, we complained when we did get A's, and we complained when we weren't even graded. You guys all know that really well. But being here today, please know that we did this because we had the strongest desire and drive to learn, to be the best, to know the most, and to impress you and make you proud. So on behalf of my cohort, please accept our humble gratitude for gritting your teeth and bearing with us. We do very much appreciate you. To our supervisors, thank you for believing in us, for giving us courage, and for allowing us to find our passions through you. Like a parent teaching their child how to ride a bike, you gracefully pushed us along, balanced us to keep us upright, and when the time was precise, you gently let go so we could follow our intuition. We matured from students into practitioners under your guidance, and you will always be our most valued mentors. To my classmates, I think we can all agree that there was only one person in our cohort who exuded confidence and skill in needling from the very first time he picked up a needle. David Murray unexpectedly passed away right before our 5th trimester, the first trimester we were able to treat patients in clinic. He was a very compassionate person, incredibly smart and proficient in anything he did. Most importantly, he was a great person and a great friend. It is tragic that a man like him was taken from our profession before he had the opportunity to begin. He would have been the only person to leave here today being absolutely fearless in beginning his future. He would have done amazing things. I don't think I can give this audience an accurate representation of how close this particular cohort became over these past years. Every professor we had to this day has had to spend a minimum of 10 minutes before the start of each class quieting our chatter and laughter. One day it took us so long to re-engage in the class that we had a professor become frustrated and tell us, and it wasn't anyone up here, tell us that a group of people can only tolerate each other for so long before they eventually get sick of one another. He obviously didn't know how tight we were either, because we laughed that off too, because us really not being friends someday, it's not going to happen. And I can honestly say, standing here today, that we are still not sick of each other. So much has transpired in this time. 3 years ago, we were strangers sitting together in a classroom. 2 minutes later, we became friends, and the very next day, we were family. The rest is history. In and out of school, and in any event in our personal lives, whether we wanted each other to be there or not, we were there. And today is the first day in 3 years that our paths will diverge, but this is not goodbye. I'm so grateful to have this cohort as my friends, my colleagues, and my future competition. As a speaker at this commencement ceremony, I believe that it's now my responsibility, after I've cried in front of all of you guys, you're welcome, is to now offer poetic and profound words that are meant to provoke inspiration and courage and strength. But how am I to do that when I'm in the same boat as all of you? The truth is, everything I know, you already know too. We know that to live our lives, we should chase our passions and follow our goals. We know that it's always better to try than to look back and wonder what if. We already know that failure is not a permanent state, and to use our failures to persevere and to thrive. And of course, we know that to reach the finish line, we are going to encounter hurdles of uncertainty and setbacks, and we will have to trust our intuition and not be discouraged. So, there are 4 things that I want to hear before leaving today, so I've decided that I'm going to say them myself so that I do hear them. The first, it's okay to be lost, you'll find your way. And those of you who know me know that I'm not just talking about the road to success, but any road in general. Robert Frost said it best, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. If getting lost means taking the road less traveled, that is fine by me." 2, be afraid. Being afraid means there's something to lose. It means that the thing you want is immeasurably important to you, but be brave enough not to let that prevent you from getting a hold of it. Work for it and allow it to ebb and flow into a reality. 3, be as unique and as exciting as your profession. We are advancing and we are growing. We are gaining curiosity and interest because of our unique abilities to heal. Mirror that in yourselves. Progress your profession with reliability and integrity, and be driven by excitement and boldness and uniqueness. Strive for excellence. The fourth and final thing I want to hear today is this: everything is going to be okay. And I like this one, and I actually know this one to be true because of 2 words: gumption and grit. The ability to be courageously persistent and spirited with initiative and resourcefulness. These characteristics should resonate with every person graduating today because these are the 2 qualities that we all possess. We couldn't have made it to this point without them, and if gumption and grit are any indication of our future, we are going to make it and everything is going to be okay. Thank you.
One more round of applause for our terrific student speakers. Thank you. Great job, guys. You can see why we're all so proud. It is my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Timothy Stark. Let me share with you a little bit about Dr. Stark's background and his many accomplishments as a leader in the chiropractic profession. Originally from South Dakota, Dr. Tim Stark completed a bachelor's degree in 1990 at North Dakota State University in exercise physiology, and then went on to Northwestern here, where he completed his Doctor of Chiropractic degree. He subsequently pioneered an American residency in the specialty of sports injury and rehabilitation. He practiced in West Fargo, North Dakota for almost 10 years before moving his family to Australia to assist with the development of a new chiropractic program at Murdoch University. This new school of chiropractic and sports science allowed him opportunities to instruct physical rehabilitation, clinical orthopedics, clinical neurology, physiotherapeutics, and applied clinical nutrition courses. He was also the chair of the postgraduate and graduate programs, including the Masters of Sports Science. While in Australia, he contributed to the development of a sister chiropractic program in Japan. His publications are on the topics of physical rehabilitation and strength and conditioning. His current research efforts are directed towards human performance, injury prevention and recovery, and rehabilitation. He desires to explore and innovate a new progressive means in confirming young athletes being fit to compete. In the last few years, he has transitioned from being a full-time lecturer and chair of the Clinical Sciences Department to the Dean of the College of Chiropractic at Northwestern Health Sciences University, and recently to the role of Director of the Human Performance Center here at NWHSU. He also coordinates the postgraduate educational programs for Northwestern in sports chiropractic and physical rehabilitation. He also serves currently as the chair of the Education Commission for the Federation of International Sports Chiropractics. And Tim was the chiropractor at the Olympics. So it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Tim Stark, our commencement speaker.
Hi, everyone. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Gosh, it was way too long. I apologize for that. And congratulations to making it to this point so far. President Kassir, Dr. Bushway, Deans Healy and Foshang, fellow faculty, special guests, family and friends, and certainly our graduates. Graduation day, sinking in. Yesterday you were so happy bouncing around during practice. It's fantastic. Great. The word graduate's kind of an odd word. I looked it up. It's a noun, according to Oxford. A graduate is a graduated cup, tube, flask, or measuring glass used especially by chemists or pharmacists. Kind of strange. Why are we here? There's a second noun listed by Oxford. It's a graduate is one who successfully completed a course of study or training, which is equally impressive as being a tube. You've had many graduations, haven't you? This is a big one. Remember graduating from liquid foods to solid foods? Do you remember that? Mom and Dad probably remember it. Getting the first Cheerio? Don't remember that? A little bit too far back. Remember graduating from that time in your life when the toughest question asked to you was, what does a cow say? Remember that? Well, Mom and Dad probably remember all those conversations. You probably remember graduating from high school. Wasn't too long ago for some of you. Well, you'll certainly remember graduating from university. And as important as it is to know and appreciate the sounds of farm animals, your university graduation is an extraordinary milestone. And so for some of you, this is simply a stepping stone for your next university graduation. So I'm honored here today to offer some of the final words that you'll hear prior to finishing a chapter and beginning another. And I'd like to congratulate Maddie, Kevin, and Carrie for your fine words. Exceptional. It's tough being in this position. I was a commencement speaker. Carrie, I cried through the whole bloody thing. I really did. You handled it so much better than I did. And we probably have a couple of faculty members back here that are nodding their head going, he was miserable. It was a disaster. You're welcome. So what qualifies me, actually, to be in front of you on such an exceptional day? Well, it's a very good question, and I asked myself that question, and very reflexively, very quickly, I thought it was probably the beard. But I have some reality voice in my head, and the reality said, Tim, no, it's not the beard. And oddly enough, this voice of reality I have in my head often sounds like my bride of 26 years. She keeps me grounded. Past keynote speakers at Northwestern Health Sciences University have been pretty prestigious, have won pretty impressive events. Most recently, a reality show, The Survivor. The winner of Survivor was a keynote speaker for our graduation. I haven't won any reality shows, but I have survived 25 plus years in the health service industry. I've sold businesses, I've built chiropractic institutions. I've led, I haven't led, I've been led. In this 25 years, hopefully I've learned one or two things and might be able to share some of those with you later today. And also, keynote speakers might be champions. They might be medal winners of Olympics and World Games, World Championships. I'm not that either. However, from a clinical perspective, especially sports chiropractic, sports clinician, I have made it possible for countless athletes who at one time thought that they might not be able to compete because they came into the Olympics or the Pan Am Games or the World Games injured, or they get injured during practice, and they're looking for that miracle. And working integratively with other providers, physiotherapists, physical therapists, massage therapists, acupuncturists, etc., we've been able to make and allow some of these athletes to not only return back to competition, but many of them have even medaled. So maybe this is why I'm presenting today. Well, the College of Health and Wellness is a college that I have enjoyed being a part of. I've been working with the traditional Chinese medicine program and massage programs especially over the last 2 years as interns from these programs contribute a vital component to the Human Performance Center and our integrative sports care services. Many of you are here today. It's great seeing the interns and our work study students that have been contributing to the Human Performance Center. And last year, my daughter graduated from the massage program. And then 2 days later, she got in a car with her boyfriend and headed off to Florida. I still don't know how I feel about that, but it's been almost a year. I'm getting over it. Most importantly, she's very happy. And so I wish to offer a heartfelt thank you to Dean Healy, his faculty and staff within the college, for supporting the Human Performance Center and for fostering exceptional programs within your college. My daughter loves what she does, by the way. She's been practicing now for a year, and a happy daughter is a happy papa. So when considering what else to share with you, some words of wisdom, as our three prior speakers have shared, I started looking for a theme, a key word, a key phrase, walking through the hallways of Northwestern Health Sciences University to wrap and inspire you. Walking down one hallway, I hear diverticulitis. And I thought, I don't think that's not good. Walk down another hallway and I hear urinary tract infection. And I thought, not very inspiring. Pretty tough to wrap some inspiring words around that. Of course, I walk into the dean's office. Nothing but high language coming out of the dean's office is there, and I hear the word transcendent. Very impressive, very motivational. I think I can inspire people from the word transcendent. But quite honestly, I've never said that word in my life. First time I've even ever heard of it. So we're talking high IQ coming from the dean's offices. So I'm leaning on a word for the next few minutes, a word that's kept me grounded within the health service industry. It's something that's really important to me, and that's the word serve. Each morning I wake up not expecting the universe or society to serve me. I wake up every morning thinking, how can I serve my students? How can I serve my fellows? How can I serve the university, my profession, and the community? So I wish to talk about healthcare service and being a healthcare service provider. In other words, you're now a servant. And I hope you're okay with that word. I've embraced it, and I hope you can embrace it as well. I desire to bring some final clarity of what being a servant is, and the ABC is going to make it really simple. We could go through the alphabet, but I've been told 12 minutes, Tim. You're done in 12 minutes. So we're going to do the ABC of being a servant. And some of these ABCs are rules and philosophies that were shared with me, or lessons that I've learned, sometimes the hard way, that may set a blueprint for you to move forward into your next chapter. So, being a service. A, adapt. B, be better. C, challenge yourself. A, adapt. I'm going to be a teacher here now. A, adapt. B, be better. C, challenge yourself. Let's talk about adapting. Adapting as a servant. It's kind of like role-playing, Maddie. Don't be too concerned, all right? But instead of calling it role-playing, let's call it adapting. I'm going to adapt to my new environment. And some of you are just getting into your healthcare industry, right? Some of you have been in it already. So it might be a little bit awkward for you initially. You may have to adapt, or, sorry, role-play, but we'll say adapt, all right? And this adaptation point recently came to me from talking with my 16-year-old daughter, Jessica. And we were driving and talking like we normally do, and she said, Dad, I'm really nervous getting on a stage and talking to people, but I can get on a stage and I can sing and dance and do plays, and that excites me. But man, talking to people, I can't do it. She's adapting. She's sorting out a way how she can be in front of people in a certain way, right? I don't do keynote speeches every day. I'm kind of adapting. I'm taking my teaching abilities. By the way, I'm not the least bit nervous, which makes me nervous, or being here, so who knows what's going to be said. But adapting with the current skills that you have, right, and making the best out of it. Now, you've gone through a great program to learn how to be a healthcare provider. And you've also been taught a little bit about business, I'm sure, but you probably haven't mastered that. That might be a bit awkward. So you're going to have to adapt to be not just a healthcare provider, a servant, but also a business manager, adapt to be a communication specialist, adapting to be a marketing guru for your practices. So there's going to be some adaptation that's going to happen. Another thing in regards to adaptation, in that same context, I've been in the service industry for a long time, initially as an exercise therapist. And I was working at a very high-end athletic club in Eden Prairie called the Flagship Athletic Club, and we would regularly have training sessions on how to be a better service provider. And I remember one video that has stuck with me, and I hope this sticks with you too. This stuck with me. It said, flip a switch. Seems kind of silly, but you can imagine flipping a switch. When I walked into that athletic club, I had to flip a switch, no matter whether the baby spit up on me on the way. Well, that would be Jasmine, by the way. Many of you know her, all right? Whether the baby spit up on me on the way into the office, whether I got a flat tire and I was grumpy, all right? I had to flip a switch and be that therapist, that my membership wanted me to be. Same with you. You have to walk into your office every single day being the best provider that you can be, flipping that switch. Service through being better. I can't get away from hearing the word better without thinking about two of my colleagues that I went to school with, and some of our faculty members might remember them from 20-some years ago. Doctors Jeff and Taryn Nyblum. Doctors Jeff and Taryn Nyblum were husband and wife going through chiropractic school, right? How do you do that? Go through chiropractic school and stay married. They did it. That was challenging, I'm sure. But they were black belts in Taekwondo, and so they were very disciplined, and that probably helped them. And on campus, right below the cafeteria, in rooms below the cafeteria, they were teaching Taekwondo. And I love the combative sports. And they were teaching Taekwondo. I decided to take lessons from them, and they would teach a particular skill, and we would be walking down the mat, right? I wish I had a lapel pin, because I'd be there in front of you instead of this distance from you. But we would be doing a particular skill down the mat, and we would get to the end. And one of the instructors would say something in Korean. I had no idea what it was. I just knew that I was supposed to turn around. And so when we would turn around, in unison, the entire class would yell, "Better!" Kind of comical initially, but there's a really good point behind it. And that is that skill that we did down the mat. We ended, and we turned, and we were going to do it again. But before we do it again, we raised our consciousness and said, I know I can do better. I know I can do better. So I challenge you, after every history, after every therapy session, every consultation, when you walk out of that door, out of that exam room, into a hallway, you say, better. You don't have to yell it. You can say, I can do better. And when you go get that next patient, that next client, you know you're going to do a better history. You know you're going to provide a better service. And you keep doing that, and you keep being better. And lastly, service through challenging yourself. Challenging yourself. Challenges will come. This program was very challenging for all of you, I'm sure. And you accepted those challenges. Right? You didn't let fear get in the way. You saw what was behind that fear, and it was this day. Don't let fear limit your growth. On the other side of fear, there is growth, there is progress, and usually success. Sometimes fear keeps you from making your best life decisions. This morning, the Human Performance Center was up north in Blaine. The USA Rugby Sevens Championships. There's about 50 teams of the best rugby players in the country competing up in Blaine right now. The Human Performance Center has a team up there. My day started at 6 this morning, loaded up a bunch of tables, met some of my colleagues up there, our fellows and some interns. Wish you were there, some of you. But we're working with athletic trainers and other disciplines, providing integrative care for these rugby players. And I met an athletic trainer, and he said, I was thinking about going to chiropractic school. Why didn't you? He goes, man, I looked at the curriculum, and it was just way too scary. He let fear get in the way. He couldn't see past the fear to see what that outcome was, and that was becoming a doctor of chiropractic. I love athletic trainers, so I'm sure he's doing an exceptional job at the profession he's at now. So I've had many challenges, and I've had opportunities for fear. Dr. Kassir mentioned a number of them, and it's a little embarrassing to think back at some of the successes. But I remember one of the first life decisions I made. That was an exceptional life decision. And that was when I was 16, I knew I wanted to join the Air Force. And my mom and dad drove me to Fargo, North Dakota, to the Air Guard base. And I'm walking through the medical center doing my medical physical as a 16-year-old. Now, mind you, when I was 16, I didn't have all of this. I looked like I was 9 years old. And I'm walking around the hallways with a bunch of folders, and people continually said, where are your parents? Are you lost? I said, no, I'm here doing a military physical. And they just couldn't believe it. I turned 17, which was the youngest you could enlist. 2 months later, my parents drove me back, and I enlisted. One of the best decisions I've made in my life. A number of other challenges certainly got in the way and overcame them, saw past the fear, could easily see what the outcome was. on the other side of the fear because I've done it a number of times. I adapted, I practiced it, and was able to overachieve some of those issues. Each of these challenges, I've proudly served my profession in this hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. And I've proudly served students all over the planet and have hundreds of graduates right now doing the same thing, serving the community, and nothing makes me more proud. As I conclude my comments, I wish to comment again that I have served over and over repeatedly around the world, collaboratively and integratively with different disciplines, massage therapists, acupuncturists, nutritionists, and the likes. Oftentimes to help an athlete achieve their goals in life. They've been training for years, now they're hurt. All that training potentially behind them. One of the saddest moments of their life. Working hard is what I wanted to do to try to make their dreams come true. Some of them, they did. They were looking for a miracle, and thankfully, some of them were able to achieve that. And I've also served, again, hundreds of students to master being a health care servant. So I hope you embrace, again, the term servant with joy and satisfaction. You've mastered understanding the sounds of farm animals, probably at this point, and now have reached this point. It's quite impressive. So I hope you leave here today happy to serve through adapting, serve through being better, and serve through accepting challenges. Congratulations. I wish you well, and thank you for this honor.
Thank you, Dr. Stark, for your words of wisdom and motivation. On behalf of the university and the board of directors, it's my pleasure to offer you this plaque as a memento of your speech today. We thank you for your time and for your voice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Just get the energy up. All right, let's do a little practice session. You excited? All right, B+. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Deb Bushway, our provost and acting vice president of student affairs, to begin awarding the degrees and certificates, the moment you've been waiting for.
It's true, the moment you've been waiting for, right? So very excited to get this going. I'm going to explain a bit of how it happens. So we're going to go by each discipline, each area of award. And in each of those areas, I'll let you know if there have been academic honors that have been earned, okay? And so we're starting out with the certificate in relaxation massage, the certificate in therapeutic massage, and the associate of applied science in massage therapy degrees. So that's who we're starting with. And we'll start by recognizing those who've earned academic honors. So to Dr. Stark's message of better, these folks obviously all of you walked out of every exam, every opportunity saying to yourself, better, or you wouldn't be walking the stage. And so there are all kinds of successes for everyone to recognize, but it is a tradition in academics to recognize those folks who have certain levels of a grade point average. I don't know how many of you remember getting grades. Remember getting grades? And yes, some of you do. It's hard to forget sometimes, but and how the grade point average system works at the university is an A gets you 4 points, a B gets you 3, a C 2, etc. So when I talk about the grade point average, if you got nothing but A's for your entire academic career, you would have a 4.0 grade point average. Okay, so that just puts in perspective what these folks have accomplished. So we here at Northwestern Health Sciences University, we recognize 3 levels of academic excellence: cum laude, which are graduates with a cumulative GPA that is equal to or exceeding 3.5. Then there's magna cum laude, which is this GPA with equal to or equivalent to or exceeding 3.7, okay? And then we have summa cum laude, which are folks who have earned a GPA equal to or exceeding 3.9 on this 4-point scale. And we also will recognize in the category of class valedictorians, and these are the folks who have the highest GPA in that graduating class. So I'm going to start with the academic honors for the Associate of Applied Science in Massage Therapy graduates. And when I read your name, if you would please stand and remain standing until all of the names have been read, and we can give you another congratulations. So in this class, for magna cum laude, we have Aaron R. Amundsen. And for summa cum laude, we know these folks. We have Madeline Rose Greta and Kevin J. Rebman. So please join me in a thorough round of applause for this excellent group. Awesome. All right, please be seated. And now Dr. Renee will begin to read the names of the graduates so that they can cross the stage, and President Kassir will greet each of the people, and I think Dean Healy is going to congratulate them here as well.
President Kassir, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Health and Wellness, it's my pleasure and distinct honor to present the candidates for the Relaxation and Therapeutic Massage Certificates and the Associate of Applied Science in Massage Therapy. I ask our graduates to come forward as I call your names. Wei's Sun. Natalia Buryak. Julie J. Larson. Hayden Carey Swanson. Keith Washington. Aaron R. Amundsen. Madeline Rose Gretty. Michael M. Keenan. Lauren N. Parks. Kevin J. Rebman. I now present our faculty member, Veronica Foster, to lead our graduates in reciting the oath of practice.
Graduates, please rise. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I also welcome the massage therapy practitioners in the audience to stand and reaffirm your oath. As a graduate of Northwestern Health Sciences University, I accept the responsibility to do no harm to the physical, mental, or emotional well-being of self, client, and professional peers. I promise to provide the highest quality of massage to those who seek my professional services. I will respect the confidential nature of the client-therapist relationship. And I will conduct all business and professional activities within my scope of practice and the laws of the land. Please be seated.
President Kassir, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Health and Wellness, it is my pleasure and distinct honor to present the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Human Biology. I ask our graduates to come forward as I call your names. Kelsey Lynn Jade Elliott. Kayla Mary Wittoon.
Well, it's now my pleasure to award the academic honors for the Master of Chinese Medicine graduates. I ask that the following graduates rise when I read your name and remain standing so we can recognize you. In this case, for magna cum laude graduates, we have Carrie Christine Jurek, and Toby Ann Utz. Utz, did I say it wrong? Not here. For the summa cum laude graduates, Carol Ann Minger, and Na Robideau. Class valedictorian is Carol Ann Minger. Please join me in a round of applause for the entire group. Honor. Thank you, congratulations, and you may be seated.
President Kassir, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Health and Wellness, it's my pleasure and distinct honor to present the candidates for the Master of Chinese Medicine. I ask our graduates to come forward as I call your names. Carrie Christine Jurek. Mikhail Yoshiki Lee. Carol Ann Minger. Na Robideau. I now present our faculty member, Christian Jovanovic, to lead our graduates in reciting the oath of practice.
Graduates, please rise. I'd like you to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I'd also ask any other practitioners of acupuncture Chinese medicine on the platform or in the audience to join our graduates and reaffirm your oath. I pledge to follow the way of the great healer.
I pledge to follow the way of the great healer.
I will honor life and learn from it.
I will honor life and learn from it.
I will place my patient's safety and well-being above all else. And I will be faithful to the trust that they have placed in me. I will treat my patients with dignity, and I will preserve their privacy. I will give gladly of my skills and receive thanks humbly. For I am a servant, not a master, and an everlasting student. Today is another beginning, another small step. As I dedicate myself to life, to health, and to healing. Let me be the first to welcome you to the profession. Please stay standing while Dr. Kassir confers their certificates and degrees.
Will all our graduates please rise? This is the serious moment. This is the moment when we confer your degrees. On recommendation of the faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Northwestern Health Sciences University and the state of Minnesota, I hereby confer upon you your certificates and degrees with all pertaining rights, privileges, and responsibilities. On behalf of Northwestern Health Sciences University, please join me in congratulating our graduates.
Can you believe it? Breathe it in, take a deep breath, enjoy these moments. Thanks to all of our speakers who made this such a memorable occasion for our graduates, and our congratulations to each of you. I'd ask that the audience please rise at this point and stay in place. Rise as you are able, and stay in place for the recessional of the graduates. As soon as the graduates have left the room, first our platform party will recess. Please join us in the cafeteria for a reception. We have some good treats over there for you, and we'd love to have a chance to meet you all.